In a small town nestled at the foot of a mountain, there lived a young man named Jack. Jack was a quiet and thoughtful person who often spent his days working in his small bakery. He had inherited the bakery from his parents, and though he loved the smell of fresh bread and the warmth of the oven, he often felt as though something was missing from his life. Jack envied the lives of others, the travelers who saw the world and the artists who painted beautiful landscapes. One crisp autumn morning, Jack stood by the bakery window, watching the people pass by. He sighed deeply, wishing he could have a life filled with adventure. As he was lost in thought, a woman named Clara entered the bakery, her face radiant with a smile. "Good morning, Jack," she greeted cheerfully. "I've heard so much about your bread. Could I please try a loaf?" Jack smiled and nodded, placing a freshly baked loaf on the counter. "Here you go, Clara," he said, "fresh out of the oven." "Thank you," Clara exclaimed, taking a bite. "This is the best bread I've ever had." Jack blushed at her compliment, but couldn't shake the feeling that his life was ordinary. Clara noticed his distant look and asked, "What's on your mind, Jack?" He hesitated, but then said, "Sometimes I feel like my life is so small. I've always wanted to see the world, do something amazing, but I just make bread every day." Clara smiled warmly and replied, "You know, Jack, sometimes it's the small things that make the biggest difference. You may not realize it, but your bread brings joy to so many people. You've been making this town feel a little warmer with every loaf you bake." Jack looked at her surprised. "I never thought of it that way," he said softly. Clara continued, "Let me show you something." She led him outside and walked through the town. At every corner, people greeted Jack warmly, some of them even sharing how much they appreciated his work. One man told Jack that his bread was the only comfort he had after losing his wife. A little girl said that Jack's bakery was her favorite place, where she always felt safe and happy. At the end of their walk, Clara stopped in front of a small hill overlooking the town. "Look at the town," she said. "It may seem quiet and small, but you've touched so many lives here. You make this town better with every loaf of bread you bake. This is your adventure, Jack. You don't need to travel the world to make a difference." Jack stood in silence, looking out over the town. For the first time, he realized that his life was not small. It was full of meaning and purpose. His work, though humble, brought happiness to others, and that was something truly special. From that day on, Jack embraced his life with gratitude. He poured his heart into each loaf of bread, knowing that it mattered more than he ever imagined. He no longer envied the lives of others. Instead, he learned to love the simple beauty of his own life. And so, Jack's story became a reminder to us all. Don't hate your life. Find the beauty in the everyday moments and embrace the greatness in the small things.